announce the arrival of the Honorable Datuk Amar, Douglas Unggah Embas, Deputy Chief Minister of Sarawak and Minister for Modernization of Agriculture and Rural Economy. The Honorable Datuk Hajah Nancy Shukri, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department. Younger Bahagia, Datuk Haji Ismaili Ismuni, Deputy State Secretary of Sarawak. And Younger Bahagia, Datuk Sri Paduka Aisha Mahmud, Chief Executive Officer of Biomass Renewable Resources. Haji Ismaili Ismuni, Deputy State Secretary of Sarawak. Younger Bahagia, Datuk Sri Paduka Aisha Mahmud, CEO of Biomass Renewable Resources. Distinguished guests, Dr. Sung Du Young, Senior Vice President and Head of R&D Center for GS Caltex. Mr. Mark Rosario, CEO of Agency Inovasi Malaysia. Agency Inovasi Malaysia is a statutory body under the Prime Minister's Office that together, GS Caltex and Biomass Renewable Resources, this will be facilitated by AIM as part of the National Biomass Strategy Initiative.
The Honorable Datuk Amar Douglas Unggah Embas, Deputy Chief Minister and Minister of Modernization of Agriculture and Rural Economy. The Honorable Datuk Hajah Nancy binti Haji Shukri, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department. Yang Berbahagia Datuk Haji Ismaili bin Haji Ismuni, Deputy State Secretary for Sarawak. Yang Berbahagia Datuk Sri Paduka Aisha Mahmud, CEO of Biomass Renewable Resources. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning, and thank you all for your presence here today, especially those who have traveled from afar. This event is an MoU signing between three parties: GS Caltex from Korea, Biomass Renewable Resources, a company based here in Sarawak, and Agency Inovasi Malaysia, to work together to carry out a commercial feasibility study to assess the potential of building biobutanol plants in Sarawak. Through this study, we will be able to assess the real business case for a biobutanol plant, including to determine the viability of the upstream and downstream value chains for a sustainable and long-term development of this project. I would say that this signing is a synergistic collaboration based on GS Caltex's pre-existing technology and secured supply of feedstock by BRR. Sarawak's strategic location to markets, diverse feedstock possibilities, huge landmass, and established transport infrastructure are inherent strengths that point towards potential for large-scale mobilization of biomass. This makes it an interesting location to house a diverse range of downstream opportunities based on biomass resources. In Malaysia, the usage of biomass resources from the palm industry are usually to bioenergy projects, with focus on power generation supported by the country's feed-in tariff. However, Sarawak's renewable power generation is already supported by its hydro facilities, so there's little need for biomass as a source of electricity supply. This means the majority of the biomass resources today are not utilized. This in itself reduces competition for feedstock and provides the basis for Sarawak to move straight into higher value opportunities such as biofuels and biochemicals. With that in mind, the state government, led by the State Planning Unit and facilitated by AIM, embarked on a journey to craft a unique proposition for Sarawak, guided by an action plan, the Sarawak Biomass Industry Development Plan, or SBIDP, that was launched in February 2016 by the Honorable Prime Minister of Malaysia. Sarawak will be a cornerstone for Malaysia's bid to become a premier biomass processing hub in Southeast Asia. SBIDP, aligned with the existing SCORE initiatives, will provide an additional platform for Sarawak to achieve its greening objectives for industrialization and contribute towards strengthening the bioeconomy for the state. We are blessed as we have a state that shares the common vision that we have in terms of biomass potential towards new industry creation, but firm commitment in delivering the full potential for Sarawak to create new green industries and jobs for the people of the state. With new lows in commodity prices, there's a need and an urgency to move the direction and core of the local economy towards a more sustainable one that has greater resilience to global economic volatility. At present, Sarawak is progressing in the right direction with large-scale projects such as the 2G biobutanol plant in the pipeline, alongside other proposals such as the Sarawak Bioethanol and Biomass Hub project that will position Sarawak in the global radar for biomass investment. We are privileged to be part of this amazing effort through the Sarawak Biomass Industrial Development Plan Steering Committee and Biomass Task Force that will help Sarawak accelerate the commercialization efforts in order to maximize the potential of this industry to provide a better quality of life and close the income gap for the people of Sarawak. Thank you.
We will now watch a video presentation to better understand this project. The video showcases the commercialization of GS Caltex's second generation biobutanol processed using satellite technology. Please enjoy the video.
Created from bagasse, wood, and oil palm waste such as EFB, OPF, OPT is emerging as the biochemical and next-generation fuel. Biobutanol, a sustainable biochemical and next-generation fuel, is the most realistic technology for eco-friendly, which can reduce greenhouse gas, wherein the carbon emissions caused by fuels are reabsorbed by biomass. GS Caltex successfully developed highly pure and highly efficient biobutanol from inedible biomass, which is sustainable and does not cause food crisis as a result of research for the past 10 years. The world's best biobutanol production technology. Firstly, lignocellulosic sugar is produced by combining chopped biomass with sulfuric acid. Secondly, novel continuous fermentation is applied to increase productivity dramatically using our self-developed and highly efficient strains, and becomes biobutanol through the separation and purification process. The lignocellulosic sugar produced thereby is used not only for producing the biobutanol, but it also acts as a new growth momentum in the field of biorefinery, since it is the raw material for various other biochemical products. The innovation where both the environment and economy can be achieved. Value number 1, energy and chemical partner. GS Caltex first took on the research and development in 2007 and used every endeavor for the commercialization of biobutanol. The biobutanol technology of GS Caltex, along with 2013 National Project of Ministry of Environment, acquired NET certification from Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy 2014, was selected among 10 innovative technologies in response to climate change in Korea 2015, and acquired certification of Green Technology from Ministry of Environment 2016. During the last 10 years, constant exertion for the commercialization realized by the construction of Yasu Demonstration Plant. The Yasu Demonstration Plant will contribute to the development of technology for global greenhouse gas emission reduction through the successful technology verification. Also, by proliferating the biobutanol production technology and production plant model throughout the world, we will create an environmental friendly industry in whole world.
폐목재와 같은 바이오매스 원료를 이용해 화학 제품과 응용 제품을 생산하는 친환경 바이오 창업 생태계를 조성할 것입니다.
GS Caltex, those who strive to provide the best energy and chemical service. Our challenge to realize the value creation will go on. Value number one, energy and chemical partner. GS Caltex.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Biomass Renewable Resource Chief Executive Officer, Datuk Sri Paduka Aisha Mahmud, to share more insight into BRR's foray into green technology.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to everyone. The Honorable Datuk Amar, Unggah, Embas, Deputy Chief Minister, Minister of Modernization of Agriculture and Rural Economy, the Honorable Datuk YB Hajah Nancy binti Shukri, Yang Bahagia Datuk Ismail Ismuni, Deputy SS, Yang Berbahagia Datuk Haji Abu Bakar Mazuki, Director SPU, and our friend Mark Rosario from CEO of AIM, another friend from across the other side of the ocean, Dr. Som, Senior Vice President of Research and Development based in Hajah. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, when Caltex first talked with us about the viability of setting up a biobutanol plant in Sarawak, we were made to understand Caltex had done their homework by exploring viability and potential of developing biobutanol plant in other parts of the world and in other states in Malaysia, which also have abundance of feedstock. After our team consisting of Biomass Renewable Resources, BL Consultant, and AIM's visit to Daegu, and further discussion with the GS in Korea, we finally narrowed it down to Sarawak, and I believe also a second one in Sabah. The issue is not merely the availability of feedstock, but a string of other issues to be ascertained before the proposed location can be deemed to be viable and proposed project sustainable. Biomass Renewable Sources, together with its consultant team, began its pre-commercial feasibility study, which was completed last June. And I'll share some of the findings that we had during that 5 months. The study took into account existing legal framework in the green and the green industry protocol. Among the terms of study reference are understanding the multiple technology paths from biomass as a primary source of biobutanol construction. We also examine how green technology evolved from the traditional agricultural practices to the now technology-driven industry and commercial practices. And the team went on to examine the green energy policies nationally and internationally, and how Sarawak is affected and how Sarawak goes about defining and determining its green technology policy. Sarawak has 1.26 million hectares of oil palm plantation, and the team identifies specifically the various types of biomass most suitable for the production of biobutanol. It went on to determine feedstock quantum, feedstock reliability, location, and the prices for this feedstock, what and how the prices could change. To stabilize feedstock prices and supply, influencing factors were examined, which included finding out better logistic methods. Sarawak roads, as you know, are built westwards from the mountain to the sea. This makes it very costly for traveling, and the logistic costs could be enormous. Thus, the team studied the alternative methods of transportation to mitigate the collection and logistic costs. The socio-economic impact of biomass project was also considered and evaluated against the local community wishes and sustainable development. Environmental impact from the project was also examined in the light of its current legal framework, nationally and internationally, and how further efficiency of carbon emission reduction could be achieved. It appears one is through greater and serious application of carbon credit as a mitigating force. We are fortunate today to have two ministers who have behind their name experience and knowledge in the green industry. Wabi Datuk Amar Douglas Unggah is no stranger to the green industry, having served in federal. And Wabi Datuk Nancy, as chairman of FRIM at one time. If I may recall, a comment by an officer of FRIM when Wabi Datuk Nancy was chairman. This is a compliment, by the way, and it's not my saying. Adakah ramai wanita cantik macam Wabi Datuk Nancy? No apple policy. It was behind you. Thank you, Datuk Datuk Amar and Datuk Wabinensi, and we look forward to sharing your experience and knowledge in order to further push the green industry in the state and to guide us in the right direction. I would also like to thank Sarawak Planning Unit Director, Dr. Haji Abu Bakar Mazuki, for his support. It may be new, but I saw it coming. And Dr. Ismuni, who was the guiding light in the promotion of green industry in the years before Dr. Haji Abu Bakar. Allow me also to share with you Biomass Renewable Resources objective to contribute to the development of youth through its majority shareholder, Yayasan Pillar. Sarawak has about 1 million youth. Figures as of 2014, it was 900 something, 5% every year, out of a population of 2.7 million. Over 260,000 youth are either unemployed or unemployable. Imagine the economic impact this project could offer. We as the industry player really hope with the support from Wabi Dato' Amar, Wabi Dato' Wabinensi, AIM, SPU, this project should not remain KLB for too long, as has happened before in other cases. I'd like to end it here and to thank everyone. And if there's any shortcoming in our preparation for this morning function, please accept our apology. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for introducing me. This mic looks like very good for singing and last stage. Okay. I will briefly introduce our Caltex company and some profile of our research history and what's the vision of biochemical technology for Korea and for Malaysia. Maybe I don't know whether I can transfer my vision exactly to you, but I will try my best. Okay, firstly, I want to review the GS Group overview. GS is the seventh largest business group in Korea in terms of assets. And we have three portfolio business area. One is energy and power. So we have produced gasoline, we refinery the crude oil to make some gasoline, diesel, or other some chemical compounds, and also doing some power business like electrical generation power systems. And also we have some retail and trade companies. They treated lifeline of creative economy. So there is a big chance. I heard there is a big chance in Malaysia, and we have a good success story in Malaysia in retail business, maybe GS Home Shopping. And backbone of top tier companies, construction and service. So we also doing some infra construction or refinery factory can be also built up by our technology in Jordan or Sudan, Jordan and Saudi Arabia or Yemen. So we make some big refinery facility at those areas. Our company has we have been start with since 1967. It's almost 50 years. Maybe next year is 50 years anniversary. So we prepare some big ceremony for next year. And almost 33,000 people are working for GS Caltex, and our net sales amount is 40 to 45 billion. It depends on the economic situations and maybe the market situations. So the baseline is almost 40 billion US dollars. But 50% of our produce is consumed in Korea, and 50% is export. So it depends very much on export sales. And this company is joint business units with GS Group in Korea and the Chevron in the United States. So our board members consist of 50-50. So we decide everything with a good discussion with GS and Chevron. So we have. It's very proud point of our GS Caltex is that we have very good scalability and good performance for execution of our refinery machine and refinery plant in the Yosu area without any accident. So our efficiency is almost world best levels. So it's very proud point of our company. Our business production unit is located at the south part of Korea, is the Yosu complex, and our headquarters is located in Seoul, and my research center is located at Daejeon, which is middle of Korea. Overseas network, we have many network office and a network business area in Europe, in the United States, Japan, and South Asia. So this is almost the global companies. And we are doing many good things for social responsibility. So it's also our proud point for the GS Caltex members. Okay, I will introduce some technical parts, so maybe it's feel some difficulties, but I will try to explain. So, introduction, the renewable biomass-based industry, technology, GS Caltex, and maybe close. So, what we want with biochemistry? Some people say the fourth revolution, industrial revolution, is coming, and we call biochemical or biotechnology is maybe the fifth industrial revolutions. So anyway, our aiming point is reuse renewable things to make good things like chemicals, materials, or fuels. That means for sustainability with eco-friendly situations. So we focus on eco-process and to make an eco-product and make a solution, eco-solutions. So this is our three basic attitude for touring the biochemistry. It's very historically, if you look at what kinds of resources we use for energy sources. First era is long time ago we used wood as a fire source, and the second in the industrial revolutions coal was a major source for power, and in recently we have changed the oil and atomic source as a power source. Now we want to change it to renewable. That means based on green biomass to green chemistry, green energy sources. So now look like that. We return to long times ago. So this generation has really changed. We want to go back to the first stage of our the human history. What kinds of technique do we need for such kind to make such kinds of society? Our ancestors used wood just like break wood, and they use it as only as a power source or to make some tools. But if we introduce some technical innovation, there are a lot of techniques is concerned to transform or to make some realization of some green society. We introduce some technical innovation, and finally we can make renewable society by using the biomass as a start point, and maybe the product of output is carbon is high, efficiency is high, and renewability is we want to make these kinds of energies in future. So what kinds of process are existing for biochemistry? Maybe the start point is biomass, feedstock. And by treatment of the biomass, we make some sugar. We call it the cellulosic sugars. What the sugar is, this kind of sugar is a little bit different the sugar from sugar cane. So because there are some chemicals, maybe it just so we cannot eat, but we can use it as some big source, a good source for transport of the chemical product. And by fermentation, that means with a low energy, and we can utilize some microbe to make some transform sugar to sugar to some chemicals, and by separation, and we can make a first stage of product. But if you want to transform to another chemicals or another product, maybe we can introduce some catalytic conversion. For example, by using some biomass, we can make butanediol. By treatment, we can make sugar, and by fermentation, we can make butanediol or bidiol, something like that. And by a catalytic conversion, we can make butadiene that makes maybe some kinds of rubber, artificial rubber sources. So if you look at this process, there are a lot of problems that exist. Feedstock issues and the technical and the operation issues. So we focus on this side, is feedstock issues. Whether it is cheap or whether it is availability, whether the transportation is easy, or how much labor cost is we need. So maybe the feedstock issues is very important to make a reasonable price of product. So we start from this point, and the other technical and operation issues are solved or will be solved easily or difficult, even too difficult. Maybe there is a lot of scientists who work all around the world to make solve these kinds of problems. So anyway, this kind of technical issues can be solved finally, but feedstock issues is very difficult and the limit on the geography problems. Sorry. So we look at the Malaysia. What kind of source Malaysia have? Maybe there are many kinds of biomass that exist. We call it the first generation biomass and second generation biomass. Usually the first generation biomass is the eatable source. So maybe a sugar cane, corn, or cassava is maybe included in the first generation biosource. And it is usually eatable, and we can easily transform some to some other product. But it is very in morality, is a serious problem. It causes serious problem to use these kind of things. So we look at the second generation biomass. That means biogas, stump, corn stubble, or switchgrass, or some wood, or even EFB come from palm plantations. So maybe the second generation biomass is morally it is very adaptable. But the sugar, maybe normally the Brazil and some other areas is major. Corn, maybe US or China or Brazil or other. Cassava, maybe your country is importing some cassava, so it is not enough. Switchgrass or other things, maybe major in the United States and North America. So you have a lot of palm trees, palm plantation areas. And so you produce palm oil, and Indonesia and the EU country, Malaysia is major of this business area. There are a lot of products and a lot of waste is come from palm plantation business, and we have some trouble. So maybe we can solve the trouble, and maybe you can use it as a chance to solve as second generation biomass. So we look at the EFB come from palm plantation area. So maybe there are a lot of applicable areas. So maybe specialty chemicals is first high value area, and the secondary fuel is very commodity fuel, and the commodity chemical is second position. So maybe this area is a high volume market, have a high volume market position. So maybe if you use second generation biomass and attack this market, we can make some success story for biochemical industry. So location, I have seen the location, I compared the location, and maybe from America, it's a very expensive biomass, and there are a lot of relatively high operation costs. And Malaysia has a very strong palm, raw materials available, raw materials abundant, and some other utilities well equipped, investment is good, and the labor conditions or land condition is very good. So we look at Malaysia as a very good chance to expand our biochemical business. So this Caltex have a strong core competence in lubricative and huge butanol and butanediol market, and we have already commercially some technology, and we have our refinery. Our refinery technology is very high, so we have some good expertise for these kinds of areas. So we can do it very well. So maybe if you see the EFB, there are a lot of compounds that exist, which is very, if we divide, maybe it is a little difficult to understand, but we call some cellulose and hemicellulose is compound that exist, and some of lignin is also exist. Normally, if we burn the wood or EFB as a burning source, simply burning source, we lost a lot of chance to utilize this good compound. So, if you see the lignin is very high heat capacity. That means almost 6,000 kilocalories per kilogram. If we separate these good things, this one and the lignin and the cellulose part, maybe you can utilize cellulose and hemicellulose as a good chemical source, and lignin can be utilized as a good heat source. So maybe power generation can be utilized, these kind of things. And cellulose and hemicellulose can be utilized as base materials for chemicals, and we call there are a lot of compounds. Sugar has a lot of compounds, C5, B6, so several kinds of sugar is exist, and maybe you can utilize this one as C5 and C6 also. So from get these kinds of pre-treatment and fermentation and by separation purification process, we can get several kinds of chemicals, which can be as basic materials, which can be as intermediate materials, or which can be utilized as final materials like bioplastics. So there are a lot of good things can be obtained by starting from cellulose and hemicellulose. So now we are ready? Yes, almost ready. So we are working with agricultural industry and bio industry and the chemical industry. So in Korea also there are big society, so bioeconomy society, and we are also working in the agricultural industry. So agriculture industry is well developed in the South Asian countries. So I want to make some partnership with these kinds of these areas. And bioindustry, well, still there are high technical barriers. We should do a lot of things for research. The chemical industry, yeah, there are high capital barriers, but maybe if you have money, you can do it. So let's combine these kind of things. Malaysia is good place for combine these kind of things all together. So we look at Malaysia, especially Sarawak. I hope the Sarawak is well equipped with palm industry. So maybe it's a very good chance for us, and maybe we can share the value by these kinds of business with Malaysian countries, Malaysian peoples. So I want to combine our technology and some monies and resources of Malaysia and labors of Malaysia together to make a great value for future. Maybe this is just a start point. Bioeconomy, biochemicals industry is not well known to the world. But only some small number of companies start this kind of business. But in future, as I told you, for fifth industrial revolution, maybe it will be start. So prepare together for fifth revolution of industry. Thank you very much for attention.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. A very, very good morning. The Honorable Datuk Amar Douglas Unggah Embas, Deputy Chief Minister of Modernization of Agriculture and Rural Economy. Yang bahagia Datuk Haji Ismail, Deputy State Secretary. Yang bahagia Datuk Sri Paduka Aisyah Mahmud, Chief Executive Officer of Biomass Renewable Resources. Bahagia Datuk Abu Bakar, State Planning Unit Director. Dr. I have to learn to pronounce your name well. Dr. Sung Toyong and Saudara Mark, who is the AIM CEO, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the federal government, I would like to welcome the company representatives from GS Caltex, who have specially flown in for today's signing ceremony to my hometown. Welcome to Kuching. And I'm pleased to be part of this auspicious event that beautifully showcases the outcome of the hard work put in by the Sarawak Biomass Industry Development Plan, or SBIDP State Committee. SBIDP is a joint collaboration led by the Sarawak State Planning Unit, SPU, and Agency Inovasi Malaysia, IM, tasked to execute the National Biomass Strategy 2020, or the NBS 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, SBIDP, launched in February 2016 by the Honorable Prime Minister of Malaysia, have shown that Sarawak can be one of the major catalysts in the country's efforts to become a regional biomass processing hub. Sarawak, being the largest state in Malaysia, holds great potential as a multi-feedstock location for biomass-based investments due to its vast land availability and wide range of industries. SBIDP has also highlighted that Sarawak has the potential to leverage its biomass towards generating 4.8 billion ringgit in additional GNI, 30,000 jobs, and 18 billion ringgit in investment opportunities throughout the entire biomass value chain. With the increased level of interest and close to commercial technologies in the biomass industry, this is an opportunity for Sarawak to position itself as Asia's first integrated biomass cluster. In addition to the increased revenue and job creation, these initiatives are aligned with the green efforts of the Sarawak government as far as changing the industrialization landscape is concerned. It is without doubt that creating sustainable green industries is the right direction for this country. While it may be a paradigm shift, especially in the mindset of local companies and stakeholders, it provides additional business opportunities for us to diversify from the commodities that we have been so familiar with, such as CPO, timber, oil and gas activities. This industry can certainly create high-value jobs for Sarawakians and in the process support rural development initiatives driven by the private sector. Ladies and gentlemen, SBIDP is an initiative that leverages on the existing strengths of Sarawak to create a strong foundation for the mobilization of biomass resources. The existing strengths include world-class port facilities, robust road infrastructure, extensive river networks, and on-ground machinery of timber operations to achieve scale and cost effectiveness. Sarawak has also integrated biomass as part of the new promoted industries under the Sarawak Corridor of Renewable Energy, or SCORE. SCORE is guided by SBIDP's roadmap and action plan and executed by a federal state steering committee in collaboration with a task force consisting of SPU and AIM. Based on the plan, Sarawak can potentially host 10 biofuels or biochemical plants and mobilize approximately 30% of its biomass resources across the 4 clusters, namely Bintulu, Miri, Tanjung Manis, and Kuching. Today, in the presence of the state government and project developers, we reiterate the federal government's commitment to achieve progress in Sarawak, bridging the income gap by creating new industries and business opportunities for local companies and communities. Bringing about changes and progress is never an easy task, but in the global green revolution, Sarawak should capitalize on this window of opportunity to become a global player and support Malaysia's aspirations for the biomass sector as laid out in NBS 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, Sarawak has enormous land mass and potential to develop the plantation sector in the state into strings of high-value industries such as biofuels and biochemicals. Both the state government and the federal government will continue to bring improvements to industrial infrastructure, transportation networks, and logistics to meet the demands of the new growing industries such as biomass and businesses alike. Today's signing ceremony is indeed significant as biobutanol is one of the 3 recommended areas that will help transform Sarawak into a high-value biochemical industry. Biobutanol also has tremendous market potential within the region, including markets like South Korea, Japan, and China. Upon successful completion of the study, Sarawak could potentially be the investment location for the world's first 2G biobutanol plant using oil palm biomass as a feedstock. This will be a move that will put Sarawak on the map for high-value biochemical investments. With a strong biomass task force to facilitate GSC-BRR in the study and a committed steering committee under SBIDP to provide approvals for all biomass-based investments, we are confident that we will soon see the cost and infrastructure advantage of housing the 2G biobutanol plant in Sarawak. Finally, as the Minister in the Prime Minister's Department and the Minister in charge of AIM, I would like to pledge AIM's commitment to bring in more innovation-driven initiatives to the state with the hope that sustainable progress and development will propel Sarawak into a high-income state by 2020. Once again, I would like to congratulate GS Caltex and Biomass Renewable Resources of BRR for today's MoU, wishing all parties a great success. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih dari pengacara majlis. This morning I'm representing the Yang Berhormat Datuk Tan Sri, the Chief Minister of Sarawak. He is not able to be here with us, so he asked me to convey his apology following his text of his speech. Yang Berhormat Datuk Hajah Nancy bin Haji Shukri, the Ministers in the Prime Minister's Department. Yang berbahagia Datuk Semawi Smuni, the Deputy State Secretary Sarawak. Yang berbahagia Datuk Haji Muhammad Abu Bakar bin Zuki, Director of State Planning Unit Sarawak. Yang berusaha Mr. Razora, Chief Executive Officer of Agency Innovasi Sarawak. Yang berbahagia Datuk Seri Paduka Aisyah Mahmud, Chief Executive Officer of Biomass Renewable Resources. Yang berbahagia Dr. Tu Yong Sung, Senior Vice President, Head R&D Center GS Caltex. Datuk distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. It is a pleasure for me to be here today to witness the signing of a Memorandum of Understanding, MoU between GS Caltex, GSC, Biomass Renewable Resources, BRR, and Agency Innovasi Malaysia to conduct a commercial feasibility study for the development of 2G biobutanol plant in Sarawak, based on GS Caltex pre-existing technology in the supply of feedstock of BRR with the facilitating support from AIM. The state very much welcomed the interest and effort from prominent companies like GS Caltex, which is one of the largest petroleum refiners in the Republic of Korea. The project is a key milestone in the Sarawak Biomass Industry Development Plan, an initiative led by Sarawak State Planning Unit, Chief Minister's Department, working together with the Agency Innovasi Malaysia as part of the National Biomass Strategy 2020 initiative. Since 2015, we have been working closely with AIM to identify the realistic biomass opportunity for Sarawak. A steering committee made up of relevant state government representatives was formed and is chaired by SPU to lead the implementation of SBIDP. We've been working on exploring potential sustainable biomass industrial deployment that benefit the people of Sarawak and the real social and economic impact. Sarawak is one of the key states with great potentials to become the leader in the higher value biomass industry. SBIDP is a unique opportunity for the greening of Sarawak industrialization shifting from mere exporters of natural resources to sustainable downstream activities with high value added for the state and its people. Based on our previous study, the state can potentially leverage its biomass to generating ringgit Malaysia 4.8 billion in additional GNI, 35,000 green jobs, and ringgit Malaysia 18 billion in investment opportunities throughout the entire biomass supply chain. Sarawak multi-biomass feedstock proposition and the establishment of the infrastructure from existing industries provide a strong foundation to carve a niche in this frontier industry. The 4 clusters, the potential site for future development are Miri, Bentulu, Tanjung Manis, and Kuching. These clusters have vast oil palm biomass, such as empty fruit bunches and oil palm frond, as well as timber harvesting residue. Sarawak has the potential to have sufficient biomass to support the first 10 biofuel and biochemical plant in the next 10 to 15 years. Ladies and gentlemen, it is crucial to have the private sector to lead the deployment of biomass industry. The state government, in collaboration with the federal government, will continue to work closely with the industry to co-develop and implement realistic action plan in line with the Malaysian aspiration in NBS 2020. The federal-state partnership will continue to improve accessibility through projects like the Pan-Borneo Highway, key industrial infrastructure, and transportation network, including logistics system to accelerate the implementation of SBIDP. Yang Berhormat Datuk, ladies and gentlemen, we are confident that development of the biomass industry can help reduce the state reliance on fossil fuel and increase our ability to weather global economic uncertainties in a sustainable manner while contributing positively towards Sarawak's aim of becoming a high-income state by 2030. Thank you very much.
We are now starting with an MoU signing.